Alright, we're at the lab portion for lesson 10 here. My name is Adam Veazey. This is C++ programming, and the name of this collection is called The Walking Code. Just to review from lesson 9, I still have the code from lesson 9 up here. I do have the new code down here. It's commented out. I'm going to show you how I did that in just a second. But remember that comments don't run. The compiler just skips them. So let's just review a little bit there. And it's still the same setup as lesson 9. How many zombies do you see? Blah, 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 blah. Just to review the error we were having last time, if I run my program and I say I see one zombie, I get two results. Take it out quietly and avoid this group. That's not what we really wanted. We only wanted to avoid this group if it's equal to 5 or less zombies. So yeah, this was kind of messed up from last lesson, but it gave us a good segue into lesson 10. Now, what I'm going to do, after I press the enter key, is I'm going to comment this section of code out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of unzoom it here so we can see what's going on. I am going to select all the old code here. And you got a couple neat little buttons up in Visual Studio. The first button is right here, and it's comment out the selected lines. This button to the right of it is called uncomment the selected lines. And this is really neat. If you are having trouble with a program or something like that, and you think it's coming from this certain line or section of code, you don't want to delete that section of code in case it might not be the problem. Now you got to put it back in there. So what we do when we program is we comment sections of code out. Keep in mind the compiler skips comments. So that lets us debug our code, troubleshoot our code to see if that section is it. So I'm going to comment out this section of code here, and it puts a multi-line comment in for me. I don't have to do anything. And I'm going to uncomment the new section of code, and then we will look at it. I uncomment this section of code by selecting everything. I got to select the multi-line comment marks too. And I'm going to uncomment this. And when I uncomment this, it removes those for me. It uncomments my code. Now, if I run this program again, there we go. And it's going to ask me how many zombies I see, and this, that, and the other. And if I say I see 0 zombies, alright, go ahead, it's safe. I'm going to press the F5 key on my keyboard besides click the green arrow. And I'm going to say 2 zombies. Okay, we're going to avoid this group. Okay, F5. Now, what if I say I see 5 zombies? We're going to avoid this group as well. But notice how when we use a number between 1 and 5, meaning 2, 3, or 4, we only get one result, not 2 results like we did last time. So if I say 1 zombie, there we go, take it out quietly. Alright, oh I'm sorry, if I said between 1 and 5, I meant if I put in 1 zombie, I only get 1 result. I don't get 2 results like I did last time. Alright, and that's because of these else-if statements right here. Let me zoom this up again so you guys can see it. Nothing's worse than trying to struggle to see something on the screen. And if the number of zombies is equal to 0, it's going to say go ahead. Else if zombies is equal to 1, take it out quietly. If the number of zombies is less than or equal to 5, avoid this group. And if all these other conditions fail, I have my else statement here, which says let's get the heck out of here. Right? There is no condition next to the else statement. No condition needed or accepted. Alright, I'm going to save that. Now, if I put a breakpoint in my program, there we go, and we'll see what happens when I run my program now. These breakpoints, again, are a great way to troubleshoot your code. So if I run this, and how many zombies do I see? Let's say I say 0 zombies. Alright, and it breaks execution of my code, and I can see line by line what's going on. So I can step into that, step into that. You're going to get into one of the header files here. We can just step over this because we really don't care. Step out of it, rather. There we go. And we can step over that. System pause and return. And if I click on my console here, it says I saw zero zombies. Go ahead. Press any key to continue. And I'm going to run it again. There we go. How many zombies do I see? Let's say I see one zombie. Boom. It's going to start there because that's where my breakpoint is. If I step into this, it's going to immediately jump down to this line here because this test failed. So ergo, this section of code did not execute. It just skipped over it. If I step into this, my cout statement is going to run. I'm going to step over this because I don't want to get into that header file there. There's really no reason to. And then I'm going to step over that. And then boom, take it out quietly. Enter. I'm going to continue, meaning I'm going to stop the debugger. And I'm going to click it again to start it again. How many zombies do I see? 3 zombies I see. And I'm going to get back into Visual Studio Express. Now, when I click step into, which line do you think it's going to go to? Let's see. Nope, it failed that one, so it's going to try to test this condition. It failed that condition, so it's going to go to this condition. This condition is true, so it's going to output that to the screen. Alright, and I'm going to step over this because I don't want to get into that header file. It's going to look at the else condition. It doesn't need to do that either. So it's going to go down to our system pause, return 0. I didn't want to do that. There we go. These header files are kind of complex. You really don't need to worry about what it does or anything like that right now at this moment. So I'm just going to click step over. I thought I clicked step over. And anyway, so avoid this group. Now let's see, I see a massive herd of zombies. Let's say I see 10 zombies. Okay, it's gonna skip that one because that test fails. It's gonna skip the first else if because that fails. It's gonna skip the second else if because that test fails. And it's going to go to the else portion because everything else failed and the else statement kicks in. Your else statement has to be last, by the way, and the order of these does make a difference. Alright, so you always want to test the least one first. For instance, if I put zombies is less than or equal to 5 first, and then I put 0 zombies in for the number of zombies I see, it's going to say avoid this group because it's out of order. Okay, now I'm going to step over that, and then it should be 10 zombies. Let's get the heck out of here. Alright, so this is the lab portion of Lesson 10 of C++ Programming, Project The Walking Code. My name is Adam Veazey. We will be putting more videos up very shortly. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down C++ programming with Zombie Apocalypse. Thank you so much for viewing.